You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, this is AFTERBUZZ TV for Shameless. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Shameless news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off, and the buzz continues.
All right. I love being clapped at while we do the Shameless after show. What's
Feels
up, everybody? We are watching this great show called Shameless. This is the after show on AfterBuzzTV.com. And the group that we have here today is honestly a good group. We enjoyed watching that show. Shameless. Episode number 4 brought the heat, definitely, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was so good.
Man, I can't wait to talk about it. And to be honest with you, I had like somewhat of a tiring day, so I thought, it's going to be a little sleepy watching the show. This show wakes your butt up, basically. It wakes you up. There was a lot to talk about. My name is Ronnie Jr., and I'll be hosting along with this great group. We'll do ladies first, if that's okay, sir.
I'm so sad about it.
We'll go we'll go across the table. Spicy Marty is hanging out with us. Hello.
Hello, world. We're going to be sizzling tonight.
That's right, and we've never really worked together, but I've wanted to work with the amazing, I don't know the entire last name, but Dorinda,
Yeah, we'll just go by Dorinda.
Dorinda, okay. Well, she only needs,
she's like Madonna.
she only needs one name. Now,
One
Tom,
name.
do you
Yes.
need more than one name? Do you go just Tom, or what's, give me...
No, I'll give you the full name. It's Tom DeTrinis, specifically.
And look at that snazzy dressing over there. Ladies with the
like
snazzy
that.
dressing, right?
I like it.
I always try to be a little bit schnazzy, okay?
Good job,
Just
Tom.
FYI.
Tom, you're doing it. Okay, cool. What do you guys think about this show? I mean, yes, last time we said episode 3 just, triumphed the other 2, and now episode 4 went a step further, which I didn't think you could do because last week what he did with Dottie was really incredible.
That's a really intense moment.
But then they rolled out new stuff even this week. It's just...
Well, I think that's the one thing about Shameless that is so incredible is that just they never disappoint. They never, ever disappoint. Even from last season, because I was watching the show last season with AfterBuzz, and it's just every episode would be like, it was like vocal.
And you are one of the
I'm very
vocal ones.
vocal.
Like, when you watch a show with Tom, like, his laughs and his, ooh, ah, ooh, he gets into it,
We
which
both
is...
have the side commentary going on.
Yeah.
I like that about you.
One of the things that's cool about this show, Phil kind of mentioned it last week, how other shows, they will get these crazy, juicy storylines, and they'll roll them out like 6 episodes long. This time, this particular show, you get it. By the next episode, it's kind of in and
over.
out. And we learned a lot of new things going into this episode 4. Debbie was kind of a star of the show, which is so nice. Do you guys love Debbie as much as I do?
I
do.
She's a charming individual.
She's like a 40-year-old in like an 11-year-old body.
And super insecure about the situation that was going to happen. It was basically her birthday celebration. Now, this was not anything she wanted as a normal 11. Did we decide she's 11?
And
She's 11.
She's in the 4th grade and she's 11.
She's following after Fiona's footsteps, taking care of the family, and she never takes time for herself. But this time, Fiona's like, I want you to have friends over. That's when we find out she really doesn't have many friends because she's a worker,
She's a stressed out little girl with a stress rash covering her entire body because she's taking on too much responsibility.
Yeah, and her 2 friends that she has are actually in their 70s, 80s.
Yeah. The friends were very... You talking about the people that she actually invited?
No, her actual friends.
Oh, yeah.
Fiona had to actually get her to get people to come over.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. I know, it was a little bit of a challenge, right?
Yeah, I mean, her original request was, can't you and V just be at my party?
Yeah.
Right.
She doesn't have any outside friends, so you start to see her going and pretty much like employing these friends,
Yeah, like,
bribing people to come over.
I need you to come to Debbie's party.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that little boy the boy who with the glasses.
His name was Simon.
Simon, right? Yes. When Simon came over and was like, "I bought you a present," and your heart's just breaking
was
because
so
Deb was like, "He's
cute.
perfect for you.
Yeah.
Simon-
You're only 11, but
Wait.
get it."
Well, it was so. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say you see all these crushes on other people. Simon has a crush on Deb, but she wants the bad guy,
Little
Frank,
Hank.
Little Hank.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But he is like a little Frank, you know.
Oh
You
my
always
God,
want
he
the
is.
guy, the badass who emulates your father, and
Right.
that's exactly what she's going after. And it's sad because then he has a crush on the badass little girl.
Yes.
Right.
What is it? Mandy, Hickey Mandy, or no?
No, Mandy was
Holly.
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 Hickey Holly is what they called her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
who
Holly
was supposed to be in the same grade as the rest of them, but she's about 3 years older because she just.
Yes.
15.
She flunked.
She's
15.
15 because even when we're watching the show, so basically what happens is like Fiona says, go out and invite some friends. I don't really have friends. Go out and invite people that you don't hate. So that's what she kind of was doing. And we see this girl Holly, and I'm like, that's not the same. How are they in the same
My
grade?
God.
No.
I mean, can one of you girls or even yourself like talk about what she was wearing? She wasn't wearing what
she
Deb-
was not wearing.
Well,
Yeah.
it looked almost like a bustier corset kind of thing on top with like some itty bitty shorts. I mean, she was just way too provocative for her age. She was obviously
Or how she answered the door.
got Hickey Holly name for a reason.
Yeah.
Or how you first see her. How about when you first and she answers the door and you're like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" You can't figure out, is that a bathing suit or
Right.
is that
Right.
lingerie?
Yeah.
And not only that, how about when Deb was trying to get her to come to the party? Well, is Lip gonna be there? I mean, so Hickey Holly had one objective, and that was, okay, I'll go to your little party, but is your brother gonna be there? And she was ready to make some magic happen.
Yeah, she was.
And we have a little bit of a funny scene there because she's just tired of it. She's over the party aspect, so she goes upstairs and she basically jumps on Lip. I mean, and he turns her down, and then.
Which I'm very proud of Lip for doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you thought he was gonna do that though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping, but who knows with the Gallagher family.
And he just knocked one out with Mandy
I mean,
about 3 seconds ago.
It's not like
prior.
his father wouldn't have done it. So you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
It's like we didn't know with Lip.
You're right. When you watch Shameless, you don't know. You're like, oh, they wouldn't do
Are they
that,
gonna
but
do
then they
that?
do.
Yeah, because you always go to the opposite end because you don't go to like, oh, a normal person would say no.
Right.
You're like, oh, he's
Yeah.
definitely going to do this one.
Yeah.
And so she comes out running, crying, and ruins the party because everybody follows behind her.
Yeah.
And they all leave, yeah, basically, because so everyone who wants to get with somebody, it doesn't work for anybody. What do we think about Crazy Carl's little friend, like we said, this
Little
Hank?
Hank.
Little
Yeah.
Hank.
So it's two little badasses, really. They're like learning how to unhook bras. They're,
They make me so uncomfortable because they're the little boys in like elementary school and middle school who like I was frightened of. Let's just say they just didn't make
Although-
it easy for me.
Although I
Okay.
don't know if there was a real Carl type. That's a bad little kid.
He is a bad kid. I love
Yeah.
that what he said about that. He got a stiffy when he heard that Marie Antoinette like
Oh my
lost her head.
goodness.
Yeah, that was a scene.
That
yeah.
was ridiculous.
But the two of them together, that's just double trouble.
And have
Like,
we
Oh,
seen
God.
them together yet, or is this
No,
like the
this
first
is-
time?
I think
we-
that's the first time.
It's a new relationship.
Yeah.
And Carl is just a little bad little child himself. But then to put somebody who's even worse than him with him, I mean, like little Hank or little
Hank.
yeah, is going to obviously get him into more trouble.
Yeah.
Because you see, he's already teaching him about bras, like stealing from people's houses. So we're just gonna see these two run on a rampage.
And it was
sure.
interesting because we never see Debbie, like her personality, and she was her little crush. Like
She was
but,
adorable.
but
She
again, why
changed
did
her
she?
hair.
Why did she go with him? I mean, that's like you
Because
said.
I think what you said about the
The
dad.
dad complex.
because Simon was there. Simon was another friend, and he was like nurturing, and he brought her to the gift. He actually cared about Debbie. There's a moment where she's sitting there, and he's about to make a move. Simon's about to put his arm around Debbie, and then she leans
Over
to
to
the other side, and
Little
there's
Hank.
to try to get with Hank while Hank's trying to get with. So everyone's just moving it around. Speaking of moving it around and getting down, Fiona, there was some infidelity storyline type things that happened this episode. A lot going on with her, and a lot of emotion too. I love watching her.
Yeah.
Her
her
little
emotions
breakdown-
and
her
these little
breakdown moments.
these scenes we get where there's nothing even going on, but she's just crying, and you're just like, I don't know how you guys are watching it, but you're like breathing with her and feeling
Well,
the
you're
pain.
feeling for her because you'd realize like she's taking on so much and she's given up so much, and then she's, she tries to be not Frank, and
Right.
she did one thing that Frank would do, and I think that's also bothering her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and then the wife comes, and just everything.
And
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say V reminds her. That's exactly to what your point. V reminds her. Don't you wish that the punishment was worth it? because it wasn't. It was such a disappointment
Yeah.
for her. So now she's, getting stalked pretty much by
The
by his
entire
wife.
show, yeah.
And
This
it's
was
just like,
Craig's
you feel bad for
Craig's
her.
wife. She did everything in this episode. She threw what, a brick?
Yes.
Name it. She did all
She
did
had
a
that
brick.
sign.
The chocolate milkshake, the banner, the door.
Yeah.
Wait, talk about the sign. What a gigantic sign in the
Wait,
middle of the
I
street.
wrote down what it said. It said Fiona Gallagher banged her daddy, and she has the kids next to her,
Yeah.
holding the babies, like,
Yeah.
look at my child. She just wanted the world to know that she thought that she was a slut, and then she tried to steal her husband.
Yeah.
I felt really bad. Like, you really, really did get. Like, it was a heartbreaking moment when she went into the bathroom and she was like hysterical crying.
At the end, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a breakdown moment for
what
her.
was the cause of that, you think?
I think it was partly what you said, her realizing that she was like her father in that moment. She's kind of embarrassed because it's all like everyone can see, all of this. And I think also because she misses Steve a lot.
I think
Yeah. At
least-
I think that's what
yeah.
a lot of it
I think
was.
that's what it was because she really, really liked him.
Because she's going through something that it's not even worth it. She's like, I'm not even doing this over the person who I want to be with.
Right.
And in the moment where we see her run to Frank's house and
Right.
she
That-
hides under
oh,
the
in the
bed.
beginning.
And
That
she
was
hides,
great.
She hides under the bed with him, and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm you. I'm
Yeah.
running from my home to your home."
And they laughed about it. It was like a
Yeah.
bond.
It was a
bonding
bond
It's
moment.
a little moment that they had, but she's emulating her father's path.
And didn't
Yeah.
he even talk to her about, the guys you picked, what was the term you got? Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to repeat it.
Okay, we can spell it out. No.
What is it I say?
because V also ended up saying the same type of thing. I mean, so they built, everyone who critiqued her this episode had to do with, the type of guys she goes for. So
Yeah.
it's her trend or whatever. That's maybe why Steve is like the right one, because he's
Right.
opposite of that.
Right.
Although
right.
he was a liar too, though.
Such a
Well,
liar.
Yeah, he was.
God, that makes me
manipulative.
so angry. But I am waiting for him to show up. I will when that moment happens, I will be jumping up and down.
Oh, okay. So
miss
not
him.
just the loud noises.
Oh,
You're
I'm
going to
be
be
literally
I
up
think
and
you're
down.
gonna see a few more relationship flops first because they
Yeah.
keep bringing up Richard. I think something's gonna happen with this.
That guy Richard.
fella. He didn't come back on this episode.
No, it was just Amy
just-
Smart's character, which
Right.
was with the V also. Valerie. No, not
Jasmine.
Jasmine. There you
Jasmine.
go. No, Valerie. Spelled with the V.
You were really close. It's fine. You were
It's
really
an exotic
close.
name. Yeah, she's still pushing for that. And
Yeah.
it's always so interesting to me about like with her and all the struggle she's going through, and she's trying to find a man. I mean, that's not really what she's going for, but there's those elements, and then the money's always an issue. We talked about this with another group, that was watching Shameless. Do you guys feel like she's gonna have that point where she is gonna kind of just be open to, how do you say it? She's not prostituting herself, but it's like
Living an easier life.
she has
Having an
these
easier
options,
lifestyle.
and this bad friend of hers, which is not really her friend, Jasmine spelled with a V. Do you guys think it'll connect at all at some point?
I think that's an AfterBuzz prediction. I think that it will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're put in a situation like that, I always say you don't know what you're capable of. And although I don't consider Fiona a slut, even though Kevin called her one earlier and said she's been acting like a man all summer, saying that she's been sleeping
Yeah,
and
like
going
a
from
dude.
guy to guy.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah.
I think she's just finding her sexual independence.
Yeah.
But if you sleep with someone and they give you gifts because you just happen to be amazing, that's not prostitution.
Oh, okay.
That
Well,
was a joke.
but see, this
That
is what
was a
makes this show so good, though.
That was definitely a joke.
Well,
Well,
Maybe it depends on the gifts.
maybe.
What's
maybe
the
it
I'm
does.
just
price
wondering,
of
like,
the
there's
gifts?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm wondering where she'll go with that because she's getting beat up. We've seen 2 episodes now back to back where she has these beat up moments, and maybe that's a way to kind of get her out of that. And it is
Right.
it's a dark path. But again, when we talk about Shameless, there's so many things that we're like, no, she wouldn't do that, but she did.
Yeah.
I mean, she went as far as to invite him to the slumber party. She calls
Right.
him. She calls him up and she's like, "Do you want to come to my little
Oh,
sister?"
talking about
Deb's?"
Steve?
Yeah,
Yeah.
talking about Steve. Like, do you want to go to my little sister's slumber party? Really expecting Steve to fly from whatever country or city he's in.
Because if you remember her relationship with Steve, Debbie's relationship with Steve last season, it was very,
they
very
were very close.
Yeah, but she like knew a lot of secrets about
Right.
him, and like she was like figuring it out. So like there's a lot.
So Fiona was
there.
kind of using that as like a ploy to get
Yeah,
him to come
cut-
back.
yes,
Mhm.
uh-huh.
Or
for
at the very
sure.
least, it triggered her like to want to call him at the very
Right,
least.
yeah.
right.
I will talk about the line. So basically, it's this. They both said the same thing. You always pick we'll spell it $PU $$Y. So then, but Fiona has a line that is very interesting. She said, Oh no. V says you always pick A, and then she said, well,
Go ahead, say
well,
it.
she says,
It's okay.
She says, well, you are what you eat.
There you go.
I wrote it down because I was like, what? It was funny.
But it was just too good.
Yeah.
It's too
Everything.
good.
It was juicy. They just gave
Yeah.
us a lot this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really did.
You're right. I shouldn't have spelled nothing. I should just said, just say it.
Put
You
cat
can just
at
say-
the end of it.
That's true.
So we're gonna call him Chody. That's the nickname that
nickname.
Lip gave.
Chody.
Jody is of course dating Karen or
Yes.
going to marry.
Now they're engaged because the last episode they got engaged. Right?
Yeah. So she won't have sex with Lip anymore because that was the only.
Supposedly she would
Well,
have sex with it.
I think from the end of the episode, it seems like she's pregos with his son. Isn't that what she
That's
said?
what she said.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she said pregnant, or she didn't say pregnant. She said my
She said-
baby, but whose
She
baby?
said, "Stay away from.
Wait, it has to
stay
be-
away from me,
Has to
Jody,
be.
and my baby, or this baby," meaning that she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
she has not had
Yes.
sex with Chody, so therefore it has to be Lips. Like it has.
That's-
to
She
be,
hasn't had sex
She
at
has
all?
not had sex
No,
with
because
him.
that was the whole thing. She was saying, I'm
That's
not
how
going to
she-
have sex with
right.
Jody. That's why they'd have conversations, and she'd say, would you just do me and stop talking about my boyfriend? Like,
was-
it was a very
She
weird
was holding
thing.
out on Jody. Her whole,
So it was
her whole
Lip.
plot was, I'm going to hold out on him in order
Right.
to get the proposal. Because supposedly when you really like a guy, you don't sleep with him in order to make a commitment to you in the relationship. So she sleeps with Lip because she still needs to get some.
Right.
And so they're sleeping behind Chody's back. And
Right.
so it has to be Lip's child.
Right. There
But
you
the whole
go.
time we see Lip coming after Chody, trying to set him up and do little things in order to break up their relationship. I mean,
Right.
she sends Mandy after him, and that doesn't work. So that's what caused her to whoop his ass at the end.
So intense.
Karen is something else.
Karen is something
I
else.
like Karen though.
I like Karen.
I mean, he does. I don't think that Chody knows that she is really a slut.
Yeah, he was in the bathroom.
No, they met in
Sex rehab.
Sex rehab.
addicts,
I called it rehab.
group
Yeah.
therapy or
Yeah.
rehab or whatever.
Yeah.
So they obviously know.
Well,
that
he's got, you know, he's coming up pretty clean at the moment because I'm sure he's cleaned up his life, Jody. But I think that there's going to be some secrets we find out about him.
I hope
Although
so.
Lip tried to find that out this episode.
No, but if he was in that like Sex Anonymous, like
Yeah.
rehab, whatever
he's
it
got
is,
secrets.
he's
Yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
secrets. Come
Gotta
on.
have
I mean, Lip did a background check.
Oh, yeah,
he
but
has Carl following him. He
Right.
looked through his wallet, his
love
cell
because
phone.
Chody is too smart. That guy is way too freaking smart
Yeah.
to not like, you know, watch himself and make sure that people, you know, because he's onto the Gallagher.
Yeah,
I
and
think he's on
I
to
love
the
that-
Gallagher.
He's so
yeah,
passive,
He
he's
possibly
so
could be, but
relaxed.
he is very passive.
I didn't
He
think
is, but I think
you
he's
think
just
he gives it
aware.
that thought?
I think he's very aware of the
Dorinda?
of the way they run themselves.
I don't know because I was thinking that he was just an airhead, but
That's
then-
what I saw,
That's what I
kinda.
was thinking, but then I think. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this guy.
Yeah.
I honestly don't.
What's
I
his
thought he was
connection?
in.
What's his connection with Sheila? And is he one of the main sources why Sheila's getting better? Because Frank was not happy about that.
Well, he keeps calling her mom, referring to
And-
himself as if he's already son-in-law. So
Right.
he
Yeah.
keeps calling Sheila mom, but I think he's just being supportive. I don't think he's done anything other than saying, you can do it. Good luck today. I mean, he's reaping all the benefits that Frank is reaping, except for Jody's playing a little bit more cool. And because he admitted he doesn't have a job, he doesn't work, so he's living there rent-free,
Right.
soaking up all the resources just like Frank.
Right.
He's kind of like a nicer Frank.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
He's just
Yeah.
like Frank. So I think
Yes.
he's taking advantage of the situation too. That could be his downfall.
I can't believe
Right.
everything Frank's going through on this episode is just like in the show wise days after he just did what he did with Dottie. Like that's just so mind-boggling that like
Right.
Isn't that incredible?
everything he's
What
doing
is-
now is if you think about it, it's just a couple days after he.
Yes.
Can I just say,
Oh,
he
man.
says, I never should have blanked Dottie to death. I could have made it work. Because he thinks that Sheila's going to that she's going to kick him out. Like the fact that he even would say that. Like
It's as bad as what he said last episode when he goes, "Oh, I think that they're going again when you get a heart transplant that's going against what God wants you to do, which is die or something." Like, what is this guy talking about? Like,
he will say anything to convince himself or make himself feel
Yes.
better about
Yeah.
whatever
Yes.
immoral act he's committing.
Yes.
And in this episode, we see Frank doing the same thing with Sheila.
yeah,
I mean, he's trying to,
that's
like,
his main
constantly-
objective was to
Yes.
scare her to death or
Scare
whatever,
her,
right? I mean,
scare her back into the house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't use the word scared to death because he's already done
He's already
something
done
to
that for somebody else.
So never forget about that.
Jeez.
But you're good at listing off the things that he does. What is it? He fires a gun.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so he fires the gun, and then he talks about a lady getting decapitated.
Yes.
Right. And he can't pick a grocery store, so he's like, a grocery store, a local grocery store. And then he talks about a pet trying to rape a woman.
Yes.
But the dog, her dog
saves
her.
Then we should get a dog.
She was so put together
calm.
this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
She was like, it's okay.
It's confident. She's
Yeah,
getting
I
her hair
loved
swag.
it. And her sexy hairstyle, which I hope
Oh
you
my
both
God.
sport
That
next
bun.
time.
That should be mandatory. That should be
I would
mandatory.
say
Dorinda.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
It was what was it? It was a.
it was like beehive bun going on with a swoop.
And can we agree she was rocking it? No.
Dave was supposed to be Dave's missing in action because he's hosting another show, but I was making fun of him because he's from Chicago too, and I was saying if that's how they do their hair in Chicago, I'm not getting my hair done ever in Chicago.
Not
That
in the
beauty
ghetto in
stuff.
Chicago.
No, definitely not. But I was gonna say we also see a guy come from the bar with a missing arm. As
Oh my
a
God.
trick to try to get
Yes, that was
Sheila to
really
stay
funny.
in the house.
And you know, for a minute, I thought it was
yeah.
serious.
I thought it was real
Did you?
too.
I forgot that
You guys
that guy was
forgot
in the
about
I
it?
thought it was
bar.
real.
No, because I remember him talking
Yeah.
to him, and I was
No,
like, "There's no way he
forgot.
would just be
Well, it
talking
just looked
to him."
so weird that I was like, oh, that must be the same guy. Although he did look different. I don't know. Something was different.
Something was a little different, but it was so funny because it was like, oh my God, that's horrible.
Shameless fans. I mean, honestly, we're watching the show, all of us, and it's like we see this guy, running in the house, like his arm just got cut off, and it was a guy that didn't have an arm.
Right.
I mean, this is like
He just
the
puts
type
he
of
puts like jelly and ketchup on
this
his
is
arm.
the type of
Yes.
thing Frank has them do. Like
sandwich.
Right.
Love it.
Dips the sandwich on the shirt.
But like
Yes.
then
in
he
a
has to wear
scheme to make Sheila scared. Wow,
Right.
Frank.
But he always
Yes.
winds up damaging himself. Just like when he tried to shoot the gun, he winds up the bullet winds up ricocheting and like
Yes.
the cap
eye.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now he has to
Yeah.
wear a patch.
Yeah, that
I'm
was
just
kind
like-
of a funny little situation too. He's with the patch, the guy's with the no arm. He goes,
Yes.
like, what did he say?
He
Like,
said,
we're a bunch of
we're like
pirates.
yeah,
over
we're
here.
a bunch of pirates.
There is
Awesome.
no end to what they will do.
No, and I think that's why I lost track of who that guy was because there's so many characters on the show and you get so
Oh, yeah.
wrapped into every single scene
Right.
that you just totally forget sometimes, like, the other little things that have happened.
So many things happen. Mandy shows up again in this episode. She gets
Right.
with Lip, which I was asking had that happened before, but I guess this was the
No,
No,
that has
that
not
was a-
happened. That didn't happen last season. I didn't see that happening yet.
And Mandy
so-
was kind of brought because wasn't Debbie a fan of Mandy's also? I mean,
Well, she
They
had
got
a
along-
crush on. Oh, this is so bad. I can't remember the brother.
Ian.
On Ian.
She had a crush
she
on
had a crush
Ian.
on Ian.
Well, yeah.
And she
Yeah, they were-
is Mickey's sister.
yeah.
And I think that's where that
Yes.
all
Yeah,
came
that's where it all
together. That
came
was all
into-
from last season where
Yes,
that all
uh-huh.
happened. And then when she realized he was gay, they just became
became
really good friends.
But there was always Lip.
That was a really
Always
sexy. That
Lip.
was a sexy
re-
scene. I'm
Lip is-
sorry.
That was
really
quite
sexy.
the sex scene, Spicy Marty.
I
Wasn't that?
my first comment was like, oh my gosh, she has a great rack. Like
Yeah.
every single person on this show, just kind of like most of my favorite shows, they always have the nicest titties. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
gotta say it.
Yeah, they got nice titties.
I gotta
No,
say
say
it.
it.
You did say that.
I remember Phil really enjoed. Yes, I remember
Phil
Phil
likes
really
that too.
enjoyed Karen's last season.
He did talk
was
about
a
Karen's.
big-
Oh my God.
We
I told you, we made fun of him so bad. Oh, it was great.
But that was a great scene. I mean, it was like passion fire. And then,
Yes.
of course, just like a Gallagher, I bet you can get any man into bed. He
Bam.
sends Mandy to
Chody's.
house
Yeah.
to seduce
Yeah.
him. I'm
Yeah.
just like, what? Who sends
Yeah.
someone after they just finished sleeping with them to another man's house to try to seduce him?
And
Lip
this was
Gallagher.
And this was after
Gallagher.
Lip spent almost the entire episode trying to find something wrong with Jody.
Yes.
And so this was
Yeah.
like just, I don't know if it was like a big scheme or anything, but it was just like send her off and there she went to go and try to do something with Jody. He didn't do anything, but
It was wonderful.
I feel like there's a
isn't that
pattern
weird by all these-
with every episode. We always see either one or two of the children emulating something that Frank is doing. So Frank is creating this little like plot and scheming in order to get Sheila stuck in the house, and now we see Lip doing the same thing, trying to plot and scheme to get his whatever it is that he wants. He
Right.
wants. What is his relationship though with her? I mean, does he really want
who?
Karen?
Karen.
Lip
and Karen?
Yeah. Oh
Do
yeah.
you think he
That
would?
was-
You think he
Come
would
on.
be
He
willing to be
does.
with her?
Yeah,
Yes, he does.
He
and
loves
if,
her.
and if
He
it's
really
his
liked-
baby,
yeah.
which it should be, then we are going to be stuck with this
So he
strong.
just
Oh
can't
my
admit to
God.
loving her then.
No, because he's.
he never
I thi-
admitted to it?
No. No, he does not.
She doesn't know. She just thinks that it's sex.
No, and I think you can see it in his eyes, and you can see it in his.
Well, we saw
Now-
when he got defensive.
Because
Yeah.
Ian
sort of
stepped up to
attacked
him.
him in a way,
Yeah.
and saying you.
What did he say?
He basically said you should just let her go. But I
Yeah,
don't know what
basically.
was the reason why he let her go.
Because she's a slut.
Yeah.
Because they,
Right.
it's just a screw. Get over it.
When you say she's a slut, and then we've watched Shameless, I'm like looking at my notes.
You're like, which
girl
slut?
are you
Oh,
talking about? Because
Yeah.
there's
Where are you
quite.
referring
That's
to?
right, because we were gonna call Holly
gotta be a
just
little more
slut.
specific.
Yeah.
I said we're referring to her now as slut. But unfortunately, we all remember her name. Unfortunately,
Well,
I
because
would like to go back to calling her slut.
Holly Hickey Maker.
Holly Hickey slut.
Yeah, who doesn't want to say that though? Holly?
I know, it's really fun.
A girl that flunked about 3 times and
Oh,
man.
genius.
I must say that as far as Karen and Chetty's relationship is concerned, I'm proud of him for not sleeping with Mandy. Because I did kind of think, okay, this is the last scheme, and she's gonna
Right.
get him in bed, and
Right.
it did not work.
Yeah, because he's pretty strong. Because he is like a strong-willed man. That's why I'm saying there is gonna be some secrets that come out.
So maybe he's really waiting for his wedding night.
No one is perfect in this show. No
That's-
one is
that's-
perfect in the
that's
show. That's
very
the
true.
rule. The rules of the show is that no one is perfect. So there will be something that happens. Mock me.
Well, can we say that Ethel? Let's talk about Ethel and Kevin in this episode. Like,
Oh,
we got to
precious.
see
Yeah.
their
Why don't we
relationship. They're
take-
getting closer.
Because Tom has to
Oh,
go.
commercial.
Yeah.
Why don't we take
Sorry,
a
after
commercial,
Interesting.
This is
and then we
getting
can talk
juicy.
about Kevin after that.
Okay,
All
that's
right.
good.
Fair enough.
Love you guys. Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Thank you, Tom.
I'll see you guys next time.
Yes.
AfterBuzz TV.
Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And, like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
What do you want to buzz about? Buzz? Oh, are they booing at us already?
No, that's me being shameless because I'm booing you guys because you get to
Hey.
host it and I don't.
Well, Phil, you know
It's
we always
unfair.
love your input. We always love everything
Yeah.
that
Nah,
you
but,
have.
We haven't heard
here's the
from
thing.
you today.
I've only seen the last. I never get to see the current episode that you guys talk about. So I don't want to jump in and be wrong or whatever. So
Okay.
Yeah. Well, from what we talked about, just from what you heard, what are your thoughts, man? I mean, your Karen, possibly pregnant or not possibly? She
No,
is
she
pregnant.
is.
She's got a baby in the oven.
I'm just hearing the words. I'm trying to delete details.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's gonna go back and watch it. So
That's
we're
right.
ruining,
Oh, yeah.
we're spoiling this for him.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
Sorry, Phil.
Cool.
But can I just say that
Yes.
I kind of have a feeling that Karen is going to try to trick or convince Jody that it's his baby. She's probably not going to tell him that she's pregnant with Lip's baby.
Oh, like they've been together.
Yeah, she's gonna try to make
prior.
it. She's gonna probably try to hurry up and marry him. Because you really think Jody's gonna marry her if he knows that she's been sleeping with Lip? You know, because
Well, see, if he has the airhead
She's supposed
thing,
to be
which Dorinda and I
not
thought,
having
well,
sex.
then it's all good because he'll be fooled. But if he's not an airhead,
But wasn't the whole point of Sex People Anonymous? I don't know what they're called.
well, how
What
long
is
was
it
that
called?
time span?
Is it? Aren't you supposed
Sex
to
rehab.
not sex rehab? Aren't you supposed to not be having sex?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he said something to Frank today about Karen, about how messed up she is. So this could be
Oh,
one
emotionally.
emotionally
Yeah.
messed up and everything. So I can even see him doing the other way of him knowing that it's not his, but still taking part of it and taking it on.
Oh, like maybe he's going through the rehab, and this is his calling, so to speak. Like this is where he's putting his energy into, is helping this girl, and
Yeah.
that allows him to not be
Okay.
out of control. I don't know. That's a lot of thought. That's
Yeah,
a lot.
that's-
But you are a brilliant lady, so possibly it could
I
be
could
that.
see that. I definitely could see him trying to stay with her, even knowing that it's not his baby.
Yeah.
Because somehow it's gonna get revealed. Lip is not gonna have it. Like he's totally gonna make sure that Karen doesn't marry this guy.
Yeah. Do you guys have any highlights from the episode? Anything that was your favorite? Any?
Yes, I love that Ethel has this new relationship with
that's
this
what we were
boy
gonna talk
Malik,
about.
Oh yeah.
and that V has the audacity to say, "I don't want her with that black guy." V
Yeah.
is black
in an interracial relationship.
In an interracial relationship.
And Kevin calls her. Kevin's like, "You're being racist right now." She's like, "No, I don't." What did she say? I don't not like black people. I just don't like.
I
What's
just
she-
don't like black guys who have babies at 14
she
or
said things.
something.
She said things like uneducated. She went to a whole different thing. You're like, what is she doing?
She was going off, but Kevin is like, "Oh, look at the mama bear being
Mm-hmm.
protective of her cub," which I do understand because they've adopted Ethel. They love her now.
Yeah. No, that's true.
But I just think that it's an interesting dynamic, them putting Ethel, this, sweet, innocent little cult child, with Malik. And Malik's girl starts going off on him because she thinks that Ethel wants her man.
Well, and then her first reaction was you see in Ethel's eyes that she does kind of want to be with him. And then there was other things that made her like, no, I'm married, and then that's when Debbie's like, come on, girl, you're not, even little Debbie said, no, yeah, you're married, but why does your husband get to have 10 wives,
Exactly.
Yep.
And you don't.
So that leaves it open for next episode, maybe she'll.
And Ethel's like, good points.
That's exactly what you saw out of it too. So.
Oh, wouldn't that be adorable if Ethel hooks up with Malik? I mean, they're too young to be hooking up. I don't want anybody
Well,
hooking
they're
up
not
that young.
I think when you have the 14-year-old babies, they're not too young for much of anything else, really.
They both have
You're
kids.
kind of already past that point.
But I thought that was cute, like that Kevin and V have like just taken like Ethel really into their home and just developed this relationship. They actually have a love for her.
Right.
And I thought that was interesting because at first we see them using her and making her do millions of chores around the house, but
They
now they're
care for her,
actually
yeah.
caring for her. Yeah, I thought that
Kevin
was
does
endearing.
seem like a really good guy, like everything
Yeah.
legitimate 100%, you know.
Yeah.
And so is
selling
so
weed
is
for the family. Good guy.
I
Whatever it
mean
takes.
with a good heart, I should say. Whatever the Robin Hood, if you will, type mentality.
I feel that. Okay, I can totally see that. But this episode overall was just, super juicy. It was compacted with a whole lot. And so we're just like blown away.
Yeah.
Because we see Frank at the end actually accomplishing what his goal was to set out to get Sheila not to get out of the house.
Oh, and that was just a gift from.
From God. He starts praying to God, thank you.
Kind of concerned about that plane though.
Was it from a plane? Was that a tire of a plane?
It looked like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dude. That's
what
what
I thought. I thought it was a tire from a plane, and you could not have seen coming anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's it. She's not leaving that house now.
So yeah, we're watching it, and it's like the whole episode. He's like, I need to scare her again,
Right.
so she stays in the house, and he has that control. And then right when she's just good and walking and
out.
there's
A tire.
shameless writers decided to just drop a.
And it's right in front of her. It could have crushed her. It could have killed her.
So she's
But
gonna
it's
be
right.
crazy. Yeah, now she's going back to like, oh whoa, like she's gonna be back in that house.
She runs inside, but I feel bad for her too because she made so much progress,
Mm-hmm.
and now she's gonna be stuck inside the house with Frank.
Another little thing that came up was Fiona got approached by that guy again. This is the guy that she started seeing on the premiere of this season.
What was his name?
Adam?
Adam. Yeah.
Yeah,
She
so-
starts. Well, I don't know if I would say she's seeing him, but he
But they
picks
hung
her
out a
up.
little bit, you know.
Yeah, and he kind of seems sleazy to me. Their relationship.
Oh.
He offers to give her a ride home. She wants him driving his BMW and going crazy with it,
Mm-hmm.
and so they kind of had a good time. But you can still tell she's removed from that relationship.
What you thought was gonna happen was you thought she was gonna show up with Adam and the fancy car, and Steve was gonna be there.
I thought I just
because
knew he was gonna be on the doorstep, like who,
She said it with
disappointed.
conviction, right?
I was hoping. I was really hoping you were right.
And Steve
I
still has
love
not
Steve.
come back. They're still teasing us with this Steve.
I think it's still gonna be a little bit of time. I think they're gonna give it a little bit of time.
I'm hoping he comes back, but we're gonna probably see more escapades of Fiona.
But yeah, that highlight was just after all that happened. She has the guy, Adam. He comes over. He spends the night because he's drunk, and then Craig comes by, and I don't even. Why did Craig bring? What was the point of Craig being there? Like Craig sits down there and he goes, "I gotta hold both of your hands," and you got. It's like
to prove that point that Frank and V said about the guys that she chooses.
Oh yes. Mhm.
And that was the most that I've ever seen.
I love the Fiona's the way she had to carry it out. She's like, I'm fine. What are you doing here? Like.
Well, I think in that dramatic moment, it was more like he was trying to savage like his relationship with his wife, and also kind of bring it to closure so that she stops attacking Fiona. Because Fiona calls him desperately, like, "Please get your crazy wife away from me." Like,
But
stop telling her to
whose
stop
idea
me.
was it for them to go to that house though? Like, isn't that a Craig
I'm sure it was
and
Craig's.
wife thing? Like,
Yeah, I'm sure it was
like you said,
Craig's.
he's kind
Like,
of
let's address this situation and bring Fiona into it and just confront it dead on.
yeah. And when she walked away, she seemed so like, oh, whatever, no big deal. And that is because when she, you know, and as a viewer, we're like, oh, she's good. She's just moving on. Screw this. I don't got time for this. Goes in the bathroom, the tiniest bathroom ever, which I have a really tiny bathroom. So I was like, oh, you can't do much in that bed. You're just like walls closing in on you. And she starts crying in that little tiny bathroom. And there wasn't much going on, but you were just drawn into, you know, what they were saying.
And you felt for her. And I thought at that moment, too, which I thought was interesting, and maybe I'm just looking too into it because I do that a lot, but it was that guy Adam and then that guy Craig, and they were both standing there, and that's not what she wants.
Right, exactly.
That is so not what she wants. She goes in that bathroom because what she really wants is for Steve to come back, or something that she had with Steve.
Yeah.
That's what she's longing for what she had for Steve, whether it be him or someone else.
One thing I thought Fiona would do, I thought Fiona would give Deb some advice, or they would talk more about this little Hank, or Lip, or somebody. Only because they all know, they all have their own crazy relationships. And I thought somebody would step in, maybe Fiona, because she wasn't there because she had to work at the club that night. But somebody I was hoping would step in and kind of mold Debbie, because we don't want Debbie to go down a wrong path.
They're perpetuating the dysfunctionalism that goes on in the house. Because if by not, the fact that Lip even offered to take Deb out with little Frank in order to, or little Hank, I'm sorry, in order to appease Deb, and Hickey Holly can come too.
Because that's the only way little Hank will go.
Yes, but
which
they're
is
like,
going to open up a whole nother can of worms, because now, you know.
They're not stopping at this,
Lip
though.
didn't do anything. This is like a prediction, I guess. Lip didn't do anything with Hickey Holly this time, but I mean, if he is going to take his sister, so his sister could possibly get a little action.
Oh, that's right. They're putting them together.
And something may happen this second go around, and now you have the fact that Lip has a kid with Karen. I mean, there's just so much going on. I guess that pretty much
Your
recaps.
AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Oh,
Okay.
I mean, we sort of were doing predictions,
was
but
a
that is
prediction.
what I see happening. I mean, Lip did an outstanding job of just being like, hey, you're Hickey Holly, you're 12 years old or whatever it is. I'm not touching you. I can't. Really, she's 16 or 15. But the point, and he's about the same age anyway. So he's like 2 years older.
Yeah, he's older. I think he's like 18, 19.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Still creepy,
yeah, it
weird.
is still
But
illegal,
a Gallagher
illegal.
does what a Gallagher does. So as a viewer, you do watch this show with, you know, one eye closed, one eye open, like what's about to happen. So that would be my prediction, that something will go on with them if they actually do go out on that movie date thing that they were talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of, I was hoping he was going to say no to it and be emphatic no, but he's like, I guess so.
And even if nothing happens, maybe it gets Karen jealous. Maybe Karen does want to go back. I mean, there's just so many things.
I don't see that happening. I think Karen's going to stick to her guns. I think Lip's going to honestly have to win Karen over.
Oh, so it's going to be only Lip going to Karen, not Karen going to Lip?
I don't think Karen's going to be running to Lip.
Yeah, I don't.
Something will make Karen go to
I
Lip.
think
I'm
Karen
hoping.
wants better than the Gallaghers, and Karen sees.
Oh, because she's a perfect human being?
But that's why she's in denial of her life. Like that's why she
She's
rebels.
the worst of all of them. She makes it, except it's.
She's pretty bad, but I
She's
think
really bad.
Jody doesn't remind her that she's a whore, and Lip does. Lip and everyone in
got
that
it.
household reminds her of her ugly past, and Jody kind of just embraces her and thinks that she's this wonderful creature,
Right.
and she's really not. So it's kind of refreshing for her.
Phil, do we have any news and gossip, or we're pretty much wrapping it up?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't
cool.
have
Okay,
any.
sounds
Okay,
good.
let's wrap it up. One thing I didn't want to say is I was actually on the Shameless Facebook page and Twitter. They did a cancer walk of Shameless. I don't know the exact
Right.
term. I know it was a couple weeks ago, but we didn't mention it yet, and
Oh,
I
we
just
did.
thought that.
Last
I mean,
episode we mentioned it.
No, oh well.
Because
not-
we were saying Pound Fiona. Or
Yeah, okay. Well, I just
hashtag
wanted to bring
Fiona.
it up again because this time I actually like looked and saw it, and I just thought it was cool.
won?
I'm
Did
just
anybody win?
it was okay, that's the news. It was Lip won.
Oh, Lip won.
Yes,
he got
I believe.
the most hashtags.
I believe he got the most.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, we did kind of talk about it, but we did, but
No,
we.
that's a good refresher, though.
Well, we talked about it, but once we said Pound Fiona because it's hashtag Fiona, but she calls
I
it
always
Pound.
call it Pound.
And then it
Okay.
became this whole new life of like Pound Fiona. So we kind of we lost the essence of
like that
cancer, you know, like the whole thing. So I thought that was really cool that so Lip's team was
So the Gallaghers aren't that bad, needless
yeah.
to say.
At the end of the
They
day,
walk for cancer.
yeah, so that's what it is. Okay, Shameless, we love the show, right? Dorinda,
Yay.
so cool to
Thank
have
you.
you. Will you join us again? Or
I will be back.
Am
Yay,
I welcome
perfect.
to join you again?
Yes, you guys. Yes, most definitely.
Let's do it. Last week we did a Shameless promo for like another AfterBuzzer. It's one thing I want to do as we wrap up each show. We shouted out Gabrielle because Gabrielle brought David in, so that was our girl that we shouted out. Today's Shameless plug of an AfterBuzzer we're going to promote is the amazing Kat Bayless, because Kat Bayless I got to do
Nice.
the X Factor with, and she is amazing. Hey y'all, and that is a friend of yours.
yeah,
so
she's I've known her since she was 18.
I want stories. Shameless stories next. That's what we
So
do.
wait, for only a year?
Oh yeah.
Nice. Phil is outstanding in the booth, working it out. Spicy
love you,
Mari.
Phil.
I guess
Spicy
that's
Mari.
it. Is
Yep.
any
If
last
you-
words?
If you guys want to follow us, follow me at spicy_Mari, MARI, spicy_Mari, and they can follow you on Twitter at
Lula Cherry Films.
Oh, those are the best kind of films.
Yeah.
And my name is at Ronnie Jr. Media. And make sure you guys write some good comments on the iTunes page because our iTunes page is really, really good. Shameless, you guys. AfterBuzz, we enjoyed it. We hope you did the same. Thank you.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principal.